starting to rain and I was really struggling to find a subject, and I wanted to use the puddles. And as I was walking home, I noticed all the splashing in the puddles and thought that could make for some really interesting pictures. So I'll show you the puddle that I was working with, and I have to say it was really challenging to get the shot that I wanted. So I ended up taking maybe 50 or 60 photos and having to go back and just sift through and see what I captured in the moment. So don't be afraid to do that too, realizing that something that's moving so fast like raindrops, you're not gonna be able to see in the moment, and you're gonna have to just focus on something, get that focal point, and really go for it, and be willing to go back and sift through and see what's there, and be willing to make some changes.
Jumping into Lightroom, let's see what we have. So I love this picture just because of the reflection. There's a little bit of puddling and ripples in the back, but I just loved how clear it was. And one thing I was noticing as I was taking pictures was that there were these really beautiful ripples and circles happening. So even when I had a clean shot, I loved the interruption and the repetition of these shapes going through and really getting that effect of the raindrops. So I'll show you kind of what I did with that, but that's what I was looking at. Sometimes I was playing with the reflection and the angles, but what I found captivating was really these concentric circles. So let's look at what I did with that. In some of the other videos, you're going to see ways to kind of cut through some of the glare. I used dehaze on some of the puddles. So for example, if this was the original puddle, you can see that there are stones and gravel underneath, but because of the reflection, it feels really hazy. If you just play with the dehaze, you get some color tones showing up, and you can see through to get some of the gravel. Other things I played with were split toning. I did a sort of blue and gold. And then, of course, my money shot, the single drop in there, and I really like this in black and white. I thought the texture of both the stones and the trees kind of focused also on these leading lines that led you up to my nice focal point of the single raindrop. So that's what I did on my rainy day, really just in the alley behind my house. So these are everyday expeditions. I have my cell phone. I have me. I'm going for a little quick walk, and right around my house, I can get creative, and so can you. Good luck on your everyday expedition. Okay, what if you wanted just a little bit more? Let's do one quick edit. So this is my image in black and white. Love this raindrop over here, the leading lines that kind of pull me into the back of my scene, but let's go see what we have originally. Okay, so that's what my picture originally started out. I didn't do a lot. I really just played with that in black and white, but we are going to do something different, and we are going to go play with dehaze, clarity, all those really good things. So let's jump into our adjustments, and we're going to go straight into dehaze. Now I'm not going to play with the exposure and the light just yet. I want to see what color is there. So I'm going to cut through some of the haziness from the reflection and just see what's inside. Now if I go all the way up, I can see I have some blues, I have some gold, maybe even some violets down inside here too. I get a lot of the ripples in the back. I can see more of the reflection. So I want you to decide how you feel about that as you're going to play through. Okay, and now I can go ahead and make my adjustments as I normally would. And then I can decide, do I want more shadow, less shadow? And I usually like a little less shadow. Take my highlights down so I don't get as much glare, but take the whites a little brighter. Okay, I have a little bit of color there. We can even go into color and play with our vibrance and saturation and see what's inside. Sure enough, there is that blue and that violet. And I want you to decide, how intense do you want this to be? Do you want it to feel natural? Do you want to go and make it super artistic? That I'm going to leave up to you. But that's my first thing with dehaze, just so I can start to cut through some of the glare from the reflection, then decide, do I want to cut some of this out? Do I like this green? Do I like this big stone down here? But that is one quick tip of what you can do. Of course, you can always switch into your black and white as well and see what that would be like. Again, dehaze still works inside there because you can still see through, but then you might make some different choices as far as your exposure and your light in black and white simply because you're not interested in the color, you are interested in contrast.